let's look at this example. So this is an example of what's called projectile motion, like things get thrown and gravity pulls them down and you land, okay? So Dennis is going to throw his rubber ball upward from the top of a campus building. When he throws the rubber ball from 80 feet above the ground, the function h of t equals negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 80 models the height h of the ball above the ground as a function of time. Right, so this equation basically tells you for any particular value of time, like if I plug it in, the answer is going to give me how high the ball is from the ground. So if I put t is 0, I go, oh, at the initial time is 80 feet above the ground. If I put t equals 1, so it's like a second later, then you plug in and figure out what the height is. So it tells you the height as a function of time. Okay? So it says the 0 of this function will tell us when the ball hits the ground. Right, so the zeros means that we want to find the zeros which tell us, okay? So we want to set the height equal to 0. So we have 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 80. Okay, so we want to factor this. I think we can pull out a negative 16. We get t squared minus 4t plus 5. Then 0 equals negative 16, t minus 5, and t minus 1. This is a negative 5. Because I pulled out the negative, didn't I? So we have t minus 5 and t plus 1. Right? So this does not give me anything. This tells me t equals 5 seconds. And this tells me t equals negative 1 second. Okay, so we go with the positive value, because we're looking forward in time. So the ball hits the ground 5 seconds after it's shot through the air. Okay? You can check this. Basically, if you take your equation and you plug in 5 for t, so negative 16, 5 squared plus 64 times 5 plus 80, alright, this gives me negative 16 times 25 plus 64 times 5 plus 80. This is 0. Okay, so it checks out, right? It's a height of 0, so it hits the ground. Okay, part B says find when the ball will be 80 feet above the ground. Right? So 80 feet above the ground, that would be the height. 80 equals negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 80. We got to solve this. So subtract 80 from both sides. We get 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 64t. We can factor greatest common factor, negative 16 and a t, and we get t minus 4. So we set this equal to 0, we get t equals 0. And we set this equal to 0, we get t equals 4. Okay? So it's 80 feet above the ground at 2 times. Initially, at time 0, and then 4 seconds after. All right? Let's do the last part. So it says C, find the height of the ball at t equals 2 seconds. Okay? So the height equation is negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 80. So we want to plug in t equals 2, so 2 seconds later. Okay, so negative 16, 2 squared plus 64 times 2 plus 80. This gives me negative 16 times 4 plus 128 plus 80. negative 64 plus 128 plus 80, which is 64 plus 80, or 144 feet. Right, so that's how high up the ball is 2 seconds after it's thrown. All right, that's it for this problem.